time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Nielsen, Hernan, and Gage are with you today. Cass is up in the mountains having some family time during spring break, so he's not going to be with us this week. Should be back for Thursday's episode. Hernan's final week with us as he gets ready to embark on a communications career in the Canadian Football League. That's exciting as well. If you are watching on the live stream, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Just search Two Guys and a Goalie on all your podcasting platforms, and you should be able to find us there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find Two Guys and a Goalie. And of course, it is brought to you by our friends at CoolBet. Sign up for an account today. Bet on the Oilers. I've got an Oilers bet builder tonight that's pretty wild. I've got the Oilers winning by 3. I've got the Coyotes scoring less than 2. I've got Draisaitl scoring in the game, and I've got the Oilers scoring 4 or more, and it pays like plus 280. So I am in full agreement of a bounce-back game, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But guys, how was the weekend? Yeah, the Battle of Alberta on Saturday. We had the Formula One race, which we're all fans of. We had Canada qualifying for the World Cup. Gager, what was your weekend like, buddy?
Oh, just jam-packed with sports. It was great. I love these Saturday night games with the Oilers. And now we're getting into that playoff push, which is kind of exciting. And then, you got Team Canada qualifying for the World Cup, which was awesome, and another great F1 race. It's I love how it sets itself up for during the day, just a race, something else. So yeah,
nice.
It was good. It's great to have F1 back, but this I think this playoff stretch is going to be almost as interesting here.
Hernan, what was the post game like on Saturday night, buddy? That must have been straight fire.
Not good. Good, but people were we hit such extremes here. People were like, you got to sit Nurse and Bouchard. I was like, oh my god, they were terrible. But it's one game. Call up Skinner again. The goaltending, strip Connor of the sea. Jeez,
hit for the cycle. You guys hit for the cycle on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was. We had honestly, Dusty, probably 6 or 7 calls right off the hop. People were angry, and I think they had a right to be. That was an embarrassing game, and it's weird because they scored 5 goals, and one of their guys had a hat trick.
Yeah,
it's just what are we doing, man?
That was messed up. All it did, I gotta have it. The province needs a Battle of Alberta at some point in the playoffs this year. Can you imagine what that would do for all the local podcasts, the radio station? I mean, the fan base in general. It would be absolutely insane, man.
But the Oilers would, after that game, I don't know if the Oilers want that matchup.
I think they still want the Magic because I think they can play a lot better. Plus, Gager, I do want to get to this because I tweeted on Saturday. I've been waiting to pick your brain on this. I tweeted on Saturday night, mix in a save, somebody, at some point. And it was right after Markstrom robbed Kane to stop it from being 6-6, and then bang, bang, lights out, game over. And a lot of people are like, Dusty, you can't always blame everything on the goalies. And I get it. And I know the team was shit in front of them in that game. But, Gager, what did you actually think of the 2 goaltenders in that game? How much of the blame should we deservedly put on them as opposed to Bouchard laying down on his belly, sliding into the post when he doesn't know the puck is? You know what I mean? There's a lot of blame to go around. I feel to me like a lot of people were willing to give the goalies a free pass because of how bad the team played in front of them. But I can't do that. I can't do that with these 2 guys.
So I did something, kind of odd. I watched, because I was going on the post-game show, and I didn't want to be influenced by the broadcasters, because sometimes I start listening to – so I muted it, okay? Nice. So I watched the first half of the game muted. And, Hernan, you mentioned, Mikko did make a really good save in the first period where he kind of took a goal away. It was a second chance opportunity. Yep. I go, okay.
1-1.
Yeah. But Dusty, it came down to, there's times in a game where you don't have it. It's just you're fighting it. It's not working out. And it's so disheartening when you see your team scoring goals and keeping you in that game, right? You're just going, oh, gee, but there's an opportunity there to make. Maybe it is going to come down to last save wins, and it's happened way too much this year, and I know it's only one game, but there was, and going up against Markstrom, who's arguably one of the top goalies in the league, they lost that goaltending battle. Both of them did. I mean, it was tough to really fault Mikko too much, just because of the defensive swimming plays everywhere and back passes and guys coming late into the zone that should be, like, you have to trust your players to a certain extent, right? But I felt that with Mike Smith, those were some stoppable pucks that he could have had. Like the Tkachuk kind of gets it in front, he's right there, it goes between his legs. Some of those glove side shots at the end in the third period, there was ample opportunity for Mike Smith to come up with a game-changing save, and he didn't. It's hard to do when you come in halfway through the game. I realize that, but that's something that they have to do. And I know it's just one game, but yeah, I would put a lot, not so much on Mikko, if that makes sense, Desi,
Okay,
but
no,
I would
that's
put
fair,
a little
man. I was
bit
just
more.
trying to get a read on the goalies. Yeah.
I put more on Mike Smith just because I thought that his opportunities to make those saves were a lot easier than say Mikko's was.
I have
But
more
look
confidence in Mikko Koskinen making a save right now than I do Mike Smith, and I think Mikko was in the starters net today, so they'll get him tonight against the Coyotes. But Hernan, what were you going to say, buddy?
Just look at Markstrom. He makes one save and it changes the whole game. And the Oilers don't get that. The Oilers are all goalie more often than not. And as far as Mikko Koskinen, I don't know, Dusty. 7 of his last 8 games, he's given
Haven't
up
been
3 or
good
more
either.
goals.
I know, but that just says what I think about Mike Smith, man. I'm not sitting here saying Mikko Koskinen is incredible by any stretch of the imagination, but I am saying that I have no faith in Mike Smith stopping a puck.
And that's the thing. Like, he comes in at it's 6-5. You know, the Oilers are still in the game, surprisingly. And you're like, hey, Mike Smith, maybe he stands on his head. He makes a big save. He gets the boys back into it. But he, like Gager said, he was probably worse than Koskinen. He was.
You know, that I must have rewound the Bouchard blunder at least 15 times when he came back. Like, I know I shouldn't laugh at this, but that play was one of the worst hockey plays I've ever seen in my life, where he's coming back and he looks like a deer in the headlights, just not knowing where to go.
Even Kulak on the first one, he crashes into his own guy. It's like
the pass goes through Bouchard's legs, and he tries to like close the 5-hole, and then his skates are like right next to each other. He kind of shoulder checks, sees there's a shot, and then he just lays down. Like, it was so funny. Oh God, I laughed a lot at that. It was so bad. It was so bad. But if I'm a coach, I'm showing that the next, just to, like, it was a bad game, but then just like break it down and have a little bit of laugh.
Yeah.
And boys, it doesn't get any worse than this. There's only one place to go, and up from here, and go from there. But wow, what a shift. What a shift.
That was the equivalent of the Mike Smith play the other night when he was like laying sideways in the net when Carlson had. I was just like, what is going on here? Bouchard looked like my son when he realizes that he can't turn around safely, so he's just going to drop down and try to block a shot. It was, God, I love the potential of Bouchard, but that was a train wreck. But you're right. I mean, it was so bad that hopefully they laugh at it in the film. Like, he knows, hey, don't do that again. Like, you don't need to break that down. Like, hey, guys, a little bit in over our head on Saturday night. Here's a clip. But the one thing I talked about a little bit yesterday in the oil stream, and we can go here and then we'll dive into, we got to talk about it. They got to make life harder on Johnny Gaudreau if they play them in the playoffs at some point. Like, you cannot allow Johnny Gaudreau to run your show at the size that he is at. I mean, you saw Backlund pop McDavid, and, the Oilers weren't happy with it. It wasn't a vicious, dirty headshot or anything like that. Somebody's got to do something like that to Johnny Gaudreau, man. You cannot allow that guy to play the game without having to look over his shoulder at any moment. And that's what they did, and that's why he torched him. I thought they needed to do something. I'm not saying jump the guy. I'm just saying play physical against him. You can't tell me at any moment Johnny Gaudreau felt uncomfortable in that hockey game, and that was a concern for me.
He destroyed him. And who on the back end outside of Nurse plays that game, does he? And I know,
but any of them could do it against Johnny Gaudreau. Hell, Tyson Barrie can hit Johnny Gaudreau. You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Like, some of these guys got to get out of their comfort zone, man. Like, especially if you're going to the playoffs, if you're expecting not to do anything physical, you're going to be in big trouble. And like you said, it's Johnny freaking Gaudreau.
You saw the Flames after just, I mean, like you said, Dusty, it's not a big thing, but
No.
after the whistle, they're coming in pushing McDavid, right? They're pushing Draisaitl. They're finishing checks. It's not thunderous or anything, but you know what? Goudreau's got the puck on the boards. He's gonna get finished here, right? So all that does, I watched. I've never rewound a game more than that, and I found that the Oilers defensemen, a few of them especially, were after, I would say, midway through the second, the Flames were finishing all their checks. And they're not like destroying guys, but they're finishing them. They play at a really high tempo. You do to have to be able to finish guys. And you saw, for the first time, I saw Oilers defensemen bailing out of, like, just getting rid of the puck because they knew they had to get ready to be hit, and it was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to look at it. Let's dive into, we got to talk about it because we can tie it into this game and a few of the recent games, and then we'll get to, we got Keep It or Clip It coming up and a few other things to discuss. But Hernan, what do we got to talk about here, buddy?
Yeah, just the Oilers' top pairing here. And listen, before I get into it, I don't. It's not that I think Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci are the most reliable defensemen on this team. I think Nurse is their best defenseman by far, and it's just they've struggled as of late. Dusty, in that game, Ceci was -5, Nurse was -4. If you go back to the 2 quick goals by Dallas to win that game, the last 13 goals against, that pairing's been on for 8 goals against. Is it all on them? Of course not. There's been some lazy back checking by the forwards, some bad goaltending. But my point is, your top pairing at this point in the season, when you're fighting for a playoff spot, they can't be that bad. And I know today on the station, a lot of people are like, it looks like Nurse is hurt. We don't know that, Dusty. I have no idea because I don't think I've ever seen him play back-to-back games this bad for the Edmonton Oilers or whatever it is, 3 games. So I want to ask you guys, like, this D-core is not the elite of the elite, but they're not at the bottom. I think they're a mid-tier group. Keith, CC have really surprised a lot of people. They've played well. Nurse has had a really good season, but is CC the ideal partner here going forward for Nurse? Because the other options are Barry and Bouchard, 2 guys we have seen with him. So do you keep going to these 2 guys who have struggled mightily in this last week or so, or do you try to, I mean, we were just laughing at what happened with Bouchard, and Barry's not an ideal guy to play top pairing minutes. So what do you do if you're Jay Woodcroft when your top pairing is struggling like the Oilers is?
I think you kind of have to put them back out there together just because they're...
Which is what they're going to do tonight. It looks like they're all still
back
together tonight, yeah.
So, and I know someone was talking about Nurse's numbers, and the only thing that's not really close to what it was is obviously the goal scoring.
Yeah.
But just the eye test of Darnell Nurse, I just find his decision-making is not even close to what it was last year. He was so there was a confidence of him doing something, going straight to a guy. If you watch him now, it's just he gets in that in between kind of, do I go, do I stay? Like, he's so indecisive. I think
is he in his own head then, Gager? Is that what that is? Because like at this stage of his career, the right play should come, be an instinct for this guy.
I love that the Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday, he goes, make a mistake. If you're going to make a mistake, make a big mistake. Like, don't make a half-ass mistake. At least, you did something, right? Yeah. And if you watch Darnell Nurse lately, he seems like he's a step behind, and do I go, do I stay? Definitely, it's a confidence thing, Dusty. And to me, over the eye test over this whole season, I just don't feel that Darnell Nurse, he hasn't had as a dominating season, I think, as he did last year. He was just go ahead, buddy.
No, I was just gonna say, and you brought up the confidence, like he doesn't know. Like, look at, I think it was the first or the second goal. CC's telling him to stay, and he still goes to the right, and that's you, Gager. You saying like he doesn't really know what to do right now. And then in the second period, there's a goal where the player gets lost behind Darnell Nurse, and he's left all alone. I think it was Kachuk again for the 4th goal or something like that. So you're bang on with that. Like, it's the reads, and kind of like he's so indecisive because I think he's trying to do too much. So he's
Way
like,
too much.
should
Way
I
too
go
much.
help? Should I go help? Should I do this? And then he's always out of position.
It's so hard to, especially when you're struggling, because you think you got to do more, but
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing, is having the faith in your teammates to do their jobs too. Because if you start running around trying to do everyone else's job as well as your own, you're just going to shit the bed. But one other thing is the lack of communication. You mentioned it, Hernan, there, like the top, like I don't see a lot of, like, if you see a play developing, especially with D-man, you'll see pointing and yelling, I gotta go. Like there's a lack of communication, I think, in the D zone right now that could help the Oilers too. And quite frankly, as a goalie, that's a huge part of being back there. And I know it's tough to hear that. We need the NHL One TV to hear the goalies talk.
Give
we
us
were
that.
talking about, but it would be great to kind of hear that communication on the ice. And I think that's another way to pull you out of one of these holes if you're playing bad. Is just way better communication between your partner, D-man, forwards, and goaltender.
I don't know what else they do. I mean, CC's so important defensively on the right side that you want him out there as much as possible, right? And the way you get him out there as much as possible is with Darnell Nurse. I mean, I don't know if you go Kulak and CC and run them as like a second pair, but you get heavier 5-on-5 minutes. Then you go Barry and Nurse and leave Keith and Bouchard where they are, maybe play them a little bit. I don't know. I don't think they're going to change anything. I'm not sure it's that they don't want to, but I feel like maybe they can't right now. So we'll see how that blue line plays out. Up front, they have made some changes, and let's kind of tie this into what Gager wants to talk about here. At the morning skate today, it was McDavid with Puljujarvi and Kane, Draisaitl with Yamamoto and Hyman, Nuge with Archibald and Brassard, and then McLeod between Ryan and Fogle with Shore and Cassian as the healthy scratches. Koskinen's going to start, and the blue line remains the same. And Gager, dive into what you want to talk about, and we can kind of give our opinions on these line combinations in an effort to do just that.
Well, I mean, I know the bipolarness of the Edmonton fan base here, but it was only one game, right? And it was a stinker, and it showed some very poor play. But it's nice to come back. They're playing the Arizona Coyotes. That, look, they're not lighting the world on fire by any means. This is a game where you can dominate, and hopefully, what I would be if I was Coach Woodcroft is playing that full 60 minutes where the old adage that you'll hear, up 1, down 1, up 5, down 5, we're going to play the exact same way. Get back into some really good habits here. That's the type of game that this has to be. I mean, look no further. The Flames played the same way, I would say, throughout that whole 60 minutes, even up going for that 10th goal, which I would put in my back pocket if I was the Oilers to remember that. Like they were
going for
comfortably in the league, and they were pressing hard to get 10. So that's something to remember. But no, I just think it's a great opportunity to get back to, for a lack of a better term, get back to basics of hockey and being on both sides of the puck and shutting down the Arizona Coyotes. I would be looking to like dominate this team defensively and just essentially boa constrictor them to death and just fill the net, work on everything. PK should be a great. Power play was great last game. Build on that. But definitely a confidence builder opportunity for the Oilers tonight.
If it were only that easy, my friend. But you're right. The way they played, like they gave up 9 even strength goals on Saturday. Like this team should come out like pissed off. Arizona,
if they don't crush them tonight, buddy, I mean, they have to crush the Coyotes tonight. It's that simple.
They're probably getting Arizona's backup, who I think I heard on the station today is like a 8 something save percentage in the AHL. I mean, this is not a good team, but there's always that little bit of concern because the Oilers tend to play down to these teams. But that's
you can't
what
do
I'm
that tonight, though, right? You can't. I think they should win by 4, 5, or 6 tonight, man.
So do I. I think this is going to tell a lot about this team, how they come out tonight. Because if they're down 2-0 and come back and whatever, but like they shouldn't be effing around tonight. Like this, run him out of the first right away in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, they should be up 3-0 after like 8 minutes, I think. But it shouldn't stop there. Like,
no,
it should be the same. Don't all of a sudden, take a bad penalty and let Arizona get back, and then this
bad goal.
They shouldn't play the scoreboard tonight, right? They should just pound this team and play a solid 60 games, and then you look up at the end of the night and it's 8-1, right?
Yeah.
Anything specifically jump off the page for you for the line combos? Yamo down with Draisaitl, Puljujarvi up with Kane and McDavid, and then Archibald with Nuge and Broussard, and then Shore and Cassian come out of the lineup. Is anything really noteworthy there for you, or just a few little tweaks here and there?
I'm surprised they took Yamo off that line because they're rolling. I haven't been I know JP's playing well, but that stick handling, man, it's driving me crazy. Like it just seems every time he gets a shot, he fans on it, but he does have really good analytics numbers with Connor McDavid, so I don't mind that. I'll be honest, Dusty, I'm a little surprised. No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, Shore's been playing some good hockey as of late, but I mean, Derek Ryan needed a look again. So did who else is in Archibald?
Yeah.
So not really surprised. I'm just surprised they took Yamo off that line when it's going so well.
I had a feeling that McLeod might come out of that top six, and they might slide Puljujarvi up with Draisaitl and Hyman and leave that top line the same. So I'm a little surprised by that. And you know what? Nuge and Broussard and Puljujarvi had looked pretty decent. I mean, they didn't get torched like the top guys did in that last game. So, Gager, anything of note there for you?
You kind of said it all. I think I don't know how many more chances Cassian's going to get at this point. It's been so long, and you see these glimpses. Like he had a few of those good games when he had the bubble on and showed a little bit more. But I mean, if you don't notice Cassian in a game, it's not good, because there should be a physical element to his game and getting under the other team's skin. But he's not. You don't see him. He's a ghost out there half the time.
He had an opportunity to do something, anything, on Saturday in a big game there against Calgary. And was not there, so it doesn't surprise me that he doesn't come out of the lineup. All right, let's get into Keep It or Clip It. We got 5 pretty good, fun topics to discuss here today, boys. Let's start with this one. Somebody actually had mentioned this as well. And by the way, chat's going pretty good today. If you are watching on the live stream, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode there. 95 was mint is in today. And I'm going to tie this into my question here as well. Connor McDavid hits 100 points tonight. He's at 97. Keep it or clip it.
Oh, yeah, keep it.
Yeah, he's getting 3 tonight, right?
He's getting 3 tonight. That's book it.
Yeah, the Oilers should win this game, and they should score a lot of goals. So I'll say yes.
Stuart Skinner will not play a game for the Oilers the rest of this season. Keep it or clip it.
Keep it. If they haven't called him up through all these struggles, through what you saw on Saturday, when are they going to call him up? I think this is Mikko and Mike Smith and Kenny Holland, that stubborn old bugger. He's just going to roll with it, man. Live and die with these two guys.
Yeah.
Outside of injury.
Can I tell you after tonight? I mean, if we see both Mikko and Mike, if M&M is the flavor of the game tonight with Mikko and Mike, and you see both those, maybe not, but I can't see that happening against the Coyotes. No, I don't think you're going to see him again. I
might clip it and just assume that Mike Smith gets hurt at some point over the next 15 games, which is certainly a possibility as well. All right, let's go here. The Calgary Flames should re-sign Johnny Gaudreau to a long-term extension. Keep it or clip it. He's got 90 points already this season.
Keep it. I mean, I'll put on my Matt Cassian hat here, and He would say, I guarantee he would say, how do you replace the 90 points throughout the regular season? You just can't do that. And you see what he does when there's no physical play on him. He just dominates the game. It's a sick joke what that guy can do. You can't replace that.
He's 28. How many years would you want to go with him?
6.
I'd go 6 or 7.
I think 5 or 6 would probably be my max.
Yeah, guys like that, they can play a long time too, right? Like
Patty Kane's still clicking along. He's not a big dude either.
Yeah, he's gotten to that level and no significant injuries. He's hard to hit, right? But you do have to make life.
I'm not giving him like a $10 million deal based on his results this season, but if it's a reasonable number, which it probably won't be because he's earned this unrestricted free agency, he's probably going to get paid heavy somewhere else. But Hernan, you keep this? You do it? Yeah.
In a game that had Leon Draisaitl on Conor McDavid, Johnny Gaudreau was by far the best player in that game. Every time he touched the puck, man, it was like danger. Like the Oilers defensemen were in full panic mode. And like you said, he's only 28, and that team's building towards something. And they still got Kachuk, they still got Toffoli. They're probably moving on for Monahan, who was a healthy scratch on Saturday. But they got something nice building there. So if you're Johnny Gaudreau and you're the Flames, why wouldn't you want to get something done?
He's got to do something in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
He had 7 points in 10 games in his last playoff appearance.
Yeah.
But prior to that, the other 2 years previously, he had 0 goals in 9 games. So if Johnny Gaudreau could go out and put up 19 points in 3 playoff series or something, and they make it to the conference final, I mean, that certainly would help his case, I would think. All right, let's go here. Will Smith and Chris Rock just saved the Oscars. Keep it or clip it.
Keep it. I would have loved to seen the ratings after that incident, because most people, it's on, it might be on the background, but as soon and the timing of it was perfect because he was coming right up for Best Actor after. Like I'd love to see the grab. Everyone's going to watch that next year. Invite them both back, have them sit in front row, and I think they should do the whole thing again.
Hey, credit to Chris Rock for continuing to do what he had to do.
He bounced back nice. Hey,
I was like, wow. And then it was kind of funny though. Like Will Smith wins the award and he's talking about love. What the hell are we doing right now? It was. You know what though? Twitter was amazing though.
Oh, buddy.
I
think I saw Mike Golick Jr. say was last night one of the top 5 all-time nights on Twitter, and it had to have been right up there, right? There was a few other ones. What was the one? Lakers? No, Cavs, Warriors. The game 7 with LeBron with the block and stuff was the same night as Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards, and I guess that was just an insane night. But yeah, I just sat in bed last night for 45 minutes looking at memes and Denzel Washington clips from different movies of Denzel talking about calming people down and stuff. It was wild. I couldn't believe it. Gager texts me, goes, "Are you watching the Oscars?" And we just sat down. My parents had PVR'd them, so we were probably about 45, 50 minutes behind, and I couldn't wait. I hopped in on Twitter. I'm watching my parents as they're watching what's happening with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and nobody could believe it, man. That was absolutely insane. That was nuts.
The best was the reactions of the other stars there.
Oh, I saw those pop up too. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. There's a good one going up. There's 20 of the actors, and they're like, which one were you when you saw that happen?
Well, I love the one with Mel Gibson. I was gonna post. Well, they won't be talking about me anymore.
I think my favorite thing about it is so the Oscars finished. And we just had, it popped up, whatever channel was on before, popped up and it was a CBC News or something. And they're like, and tonight at the Oscars, the award winners weren't in the headlines as Chris Rock was slapped by Will Smith. Will Smith would later go on to win the Oscar for Best Male Actor of the Year. I was just like, oh man, what a night. What a night. That was insane. All right, final question, boys. We should all quit our jobs and our podcasts, come together, invest, and open an F1 store here in Edmonton? Keep it or clip it.
Do it.
Let me think. I think we'll have to wait 6 months. Let's wait 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start building a nest egg.
Yeah, and because more and more people are coming on this, Dusty. Like we were talking yesterday, and I've gotten a lot of people going, "Thanks, Joaquin, for this F1 channel." That was and that it's awesome. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I think that might work. I mean, we could probably retire after a year with the cost of that stuff.
We gotta. There's gotta be one. Do you know how frustrating it is? And well, you guys know. I mean, how frustrating is it being a new fan of this, and I have to wear the same bloody hoodie for a week when I'm at my parents' house? Like, I was online looking last night. I had my shopping cart at the Formula One store was a really nice looking Ferrari hoodie and a really nice looking McLaren hoodie because I still believe in Lando and Danny Rick. But I was looking at it, it's like $160. 5 weeks to get here. It would be great to be able to go down to West Edmonton Mall, pop into, the two guys in a Formula One store. And we're just in there sitting around like bullshitting, having a good time, selling F1 swag, selling F1 like autographed photos and stuff. I think the city needs that, man. The country needs it.
I'd love it. I'd have different things in there too, right? You could change a tire. Right, you get in there and change a tire. Right,
like so as an experience.
Yeah, as an experience, you could have some stuff like that.
Full-blown simulator. Full-blown simulator.
Simulator in there for a fastest lap. Then you got maybe you're the team principal. You got to make some decisions on a 10-lap race, a simulated race, right? So, it's not just the merch, Dusty. This is a full experience.
I want a full racing suit, though.
Yes. Like, would it not be sweet to walk into a store like Mark's Work Warehouse and the whole wall is just racing suits, and you can just buy one and walk out in it? I think that would be
with the boots and everything, helmet. Everything. Just have the sippy cup thing or whatever attached to it. Yeah,
that would be amazing. I love that. All right, that's going to do it for another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Cass will be back on Thursday, and I think I saw Snack 10 in the comment section saying, guys, we're going to get Two Guys Super Trivia to wrap up with Hernan's final episode on Thursday. And I said, yes,
do it.
Yes, we will. So make sure you join us for that. Before we wrap, official score prediction for the game tonight. What are you guys going with?
I'm going to go 7-2 Oilers.
Jesus. I'm going to go 5-2 Oilers.
Yeah, and I'm going to go, man, I was going to say 6, but we can't all be sitting here going 7, 5, 6 goals. But we do think they should pump them. I'll go 6-1. 6-1 Oilers tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Man, if they lose 4-3, I might drive back from Cranbrook tonight just to do the show tomorrow morning because that would be amazing. All right, that's gonna do it for another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. As always, it's brought to you by our partners at CoolBet. Just hop online at coolbet.com. Sign up for an account by using the bonus code, the number 2 and the word guys. If you missed my bet builder tonight for the game, I'm on the Oilers over 3.5 goals. Leon Draisaitl scores. The Oilers win by 3 or more, and the Coyotes score less than 3. So it pays like plus 280. I'll tweet it out a little bit later on. Boys, enjoy that game tonight. Hernan, have fun on that post-game show, buddy, and we'll catch up on Thursday. See you later, boys.
See you, boys.